Now, let us turn to the teachings of the Buddha. We will just touch some fundamental teachings. The first important teaching of the Buddha is the Four Noble Truths, which can be said to be the discovery of the Buddha, and this is something which makes Buddha what he is. The Four Noble Truths are the truths of life. The Buddha said that there is suffering in the life, then there is a source of suffering, and the source of suffering according to the Buddha is craving, which can be removed. So, there is a possibility that the suffering can be removed, and there is a path which can take us to that goal, which is a path leading to the end of suffering. So, these Four Noble Truths we can call dukkha, dukkha samudaya, dukkha nirodha and dukkha nirodha gamini pratipad. Now, when Buddha talked about dukkha, he classified it into categories, like there is a physical suffering in terms of our birth, old age, then death and disease. Then there is a mental suffering like mental agony, grief, our disparities and so on. He also talked about emotional suffering, which is like when we associate with things which do not like, or when we have to separate from things which we like, or when our desires are not fulfilled. This is emotional suffering. And then he also talks about spiritual suffering, which is our attachment to our body, our personality and its components. Now, this particular teaching is called the teaching of dukkha, and one has to realize the dukkha in a very complete manner, in the fullest manner. Then the Buddha talked about the second truth, which is the source of suffering, dukkha samudaya. According to the Buddha, human suffering is not a result of any supernormal power, nor is it something eternal and metaphysical. This human suffering is a result of craving, which could be personal, social or even national. We can say that the personal suffering leads to personal conflict and human exploitation, and communal suffering can have more serious effects, and the national craving could even lead to wars. So, anyway, craving for sensual pleasures, craving for continuous existence, and craving even to end one's life. This is a threefold craving, which is a cause of suffering according to the Buddha. So, this is dukkha samudaya, the third truth, the second truth. In the third truth, the Buddha says that since our suffering is not eternal, or it is not caused by some metaphysical entities, it is in our control to end this suffering, and so there is a possibility of removing the suffering, which we call dukkha nirodha. Now, what is the way to end the suffering? And for this, the Buddha basically taught the eightfold path, the path which consists of 8 components, which is effective in getting rid of the craving and ignorance, which are the 2 main causes of suffering. This eightfold path has 8 limbs, that is right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness and right concentration or integration. Now, let us look at it one by one quickly. So, right view is having the correct view about the reality of our existence. Right intention is having right ideas, the ideas of or the intention of detachment, the intention of non-violence and the intention of loving kindness. So, these are the right intentions. What is right speech? Right speech is like when you abstain from faults of speech such as lying, slandering, using harsh speech or indulging into frivolous talk or useless talk, and speaking a language which is truthful, which is pleasant, which takes care of others' benefit and which leads one to the end of suffering. This is called right speech. Now, right action is abstaining from wrong actions such as killing, stealing and indulging into sexual misbehavior. Whereas, on the positive part, right action means acting in friendliness, acting with honesty, acting for the welfare of people. This is the right action. Now, when we talk about right livelihood, this is not performing or not engaging in such means of livelihood which causes which causes harm to society and individuals, such as indulging into trade of poisons or human trafficking or sale of meat and so on. Whereas, right livelihood means engaging into livelihood which is earned through righteous means. The next element in the eightfold path is right effort. Right effort is the effort to for mind culture. So, one has to remove whatever is impure in one's mind and try to cultivate good things in one's mind. So, this is called right effort. Right mindfulness is the mindfulness or awareness about the present state of one's mind and body, and also about things around him. So, this is called right mindfulness, and right concentration is the integration of all positive mental thoughts. This is the eighth limb of the eightfold path. Now, this eightfold path can be classified also into three groups of morality, Shila, then concentration, Samadhi, and wisdom, called Prajna. So, the first two limbs of right view and right intention are classified under Prajna. The next three limbs such as right speech, right action, and right livelihood can be classified under the Shila part, the morality part, and the last three limbs again of right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration can be classified under the Samadhi part or the concentration part. So, this is an important teaching, the fundamental teaching of the Buddha. Then Buddha has also given some more teachings which are fundamental to understand the phenomenal world. In this we have two main doctrines. One is the doctrine of three characteristics of worldly existence, which we call as Trilakshana. Now, here the Buddha says that if you want to understand the world in its true character, one has to see that the world is the worldly existence is characterized by impermanence, where everything is changing all the time. Second, it is dukkha, and here dukkha means the world is full of it is by nature is unsatisfactory, it is deficient. And the third thing is that there is no substance, there is no permanent substance in things. So, all things are in a way non-substantial, as they depend for their existence on causes and conditions. So, these three characteristics, impermanence, anitya, deficient nature, dukkha, and non-self or non-substantiality, that is anatma, these three are the characteristics of human existence. Another important doctrine which the Buddha taught us is the doctrine of dependent origination, or it can be understood also as interdependent co-arising. Now, in other philosophies you see that the existence of anything or the emergence of any phenomena is ascribed to either a creator or to nature or other such metaphysical entities. But according to the Buddha, things arise due to causes and conditions. When the causes and conditions are there is a possibility of its effect to arise. When the causes and conditions are not present, then the effect does not arise. So, this is in short a doctrine of Pratitya Samutpada. Now, Buddha applied this doctrine to explain the rise of suffering, how suffering comes into existence. He says that suffering does not come into existence due to some creative force or due to some creator or some supernormal force, but it is a result of causes and conditions. When he analyzed the causes and conditions, he saw that the root cause of suffering is ignorance. From ignorance we arises actions which are loaded with karmic force, either good or bad. From there arises the consciousness, which is also either good or bad or neutral. From this consciousness arises our mind and body, so which he calls nama rupa. Now, mind consists of mental processes, whereas body is again it is a combination of various material qualities and material processes. Now, when mind and body comes into existence, there also arise 6 sense doors or sense spheres, which are called ayatanas. This include the 5 senses and mind. So, altogether through this 6 doors, or you can say sense organs and mind, we interact with the world outside, and then there is a contact with the world outside, which is the next link of the pratitya samutpada. When we have a contact, there arises some kind of experience or feeling of the world around us. Now, this feeling is could be either pleasant or unpleasant, or it could be neutral. When we attach to these feelings, when we want good things to exist and bad things to go away, this is a craving. When we become desperate for either to achieve something or to get something or to push back something. Now, this is the next link, which is the grasping. So, the craving leads to grasping, and from grasping there arises a karmic force which becomes responsible for a renewed existence. So, this is called bhava. From that arises the actual birth called jati, and when one is born, it results ultimately into old age and death and the whole lot of suffering. So, Buddha analyzes this rise of suffering through this chain of causes and effects, which he calls pratitya samutpada, and these links which are 12 in number are called nidanas. So, this is another important doctrine which the Buddha gave, and this can not just explain how the dukkha arises, but it can explain any phenomena in the world, how it arises, how we can kind of deal with it. Because once you know the causes and conditions of things which arise, you can also know how to either how to produce them or how to stop them. Okay. Now, apart from these basic teachings, Buddha also gave few more important teachings. One of that is the centrality of mind in his teaching. In Buddhism, chitta or the mind plays a central role. Buddha says that the human suffering or human liberation depends on his mind. The very famous stanza in Dhammapada says, avoiding all evil and cultivation of good and purification of one's mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So, Buddha's teaching in this way focuses on mental purity. So, he did not give importance to rituals, rites or any other philosophical speculation as a means to liberation, but he says that all our happiness and all our suffering depends on our mind. So, cleansing one's mind, purifying one's mind is the only means to happiness. Buddha also emphasized on another important principle, the principle of self-reliance, which is well known as Attadipo Bhava in Pali, that is, be an island to yourself. Buddha asked his disciples to be self-reliant and not to rely on others for their liberation. He asked them to cultivate good and get rid of all evil things with their own efforts, with their own reasoning and with their own morality. So, in this way the Buddha taught his disciples to be self-reliant. So, these are the fundamental teachings of the Buddha. In future modules you will have some more details on this. So, I think we can stop here for today, and all the best for your next studies. Thank you.